Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, the GMAT Official Guide 2022. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. Always make sure this book is in front of you when you're working with me. Today we'll solve some problem that you will find on page number 127. Let's turn to it, page 127. The very first problem that you see there, number 97, is already on the blackboard. In number 97, we are told that we have 50 dancers and they're divided up into two groups, A and B. We are told that it costs $80 for each of the costume for members of group A, and it costs $90 for the costume for group B. We are told that the total cost is $4,270. The question simply is, what's the cost of the costume for group B? Since we have two unknown A and B, A being the number of people in group A and B being the number of people in group B, we have two unknowns, we need two independent equations. Well, first equation is right here. We have 50 dancers altogether. There are a number of people in group A, B in group B. So that's our first equation. Second equation is going to come from the fact that the total cost is $4,270. Each costume costs $80 in group A. We have a number of people in group A. Similarly, each costume in group B costs $90, and there are B people. And this amount, 80A plus 90B, has to equal this amount, $4,270. Let's erase this thing so it's not in the way. And we know, and since we are interested in cost of the costume for group B, we are interested in finding out how many people are in group B. We want to solve for B. Since we want to solve for B, let's substitute A here. A would simply be 50 minus B. A equals 50 minus B. Let's put it in here. 50 minus B plus 90B has to equal 4,270. Let's open this thing. That's going to give us 4,000 minus 80B plus 90B has to equal $4,270. Let's subtract 4,000 from both sides. 4,000 is going to go away, and this becomes 270. Here we have minus 80 and positive 90. We have 10B equals 270. There we go. Therefore, we conclude that there are 27 people in group B, and each costume costs $90. So we simply have to do 90 times 27. We know 100 times 27 will be 2,700. We don't want 100 of them, we want 90 of them. Let's subtract 270 from it. 2,700 minus 300 would have been 2,400, so it's going to be 2,400 and 30. 2,700 minus 300 would have been 2,400, so it's 2,430. That's it. That was number 97. Number 98. In number 98, we are told that we gave 18 cubic centimeter to a 120-pound person, or to be more precise, 120-pound patient. We are further told that the typical dosage is supposed to be 2 cubic centimeter per 15 pound. The question is, the prescribed dosage is what percentage greater? Prescribed dosage, which was 18 cubic centimeters, is what we ended up giving to this person who weighs only 120 pounds. How much? We had to first figure out how much it should have been, and then the question is, what we gave is what percentage greater than what it should have been, what should have been prescribed. Let's find out, shall we? Set it up as a proportion problem. So we have cubic centimeter and the pound, and we know it's supposed to be 2 cubic centimeter for every 15 pounds. The patient that we have is 120 pounds. What should we have given this person? Let's find out. Solve for x. Bring the 120 to this side. That's all it is. X equals to 2 times 120 over 15. Divide top and bottom by 5. That's going to give us 3. And 12 has 2 5s. 2 goes into as a 4 is 24. There we go. Let's go one more round. Divide top and bottom by 3, and that's 8. 8 times 2 is 16. We should have given, the patient should have been given 16 cubic centimeter. We ended up giving him 18 cubic centimeter. We gave 2 cubic centimeter more than what it should have been. It should have been 16. It's just 2/16 is a percentage, which is same as 1/8, and 1/8 is just 12.5%. If you do not know your eighth, it's time that we learn it. You have to know your eighth by heart. And if you like, we can take about 30 seconds to learn our eighth. It's not that difficult. We know 2/8. We know 2/8, which is 1/4, is 25%. Well, if 2/8 is 25%, 1/8 must be half of that, which is 12.5%. Which means 3/8 must be 12.5 plus 25 must have been 37.5%. Which means 4/8, which is half, has to be 50%. Which means 5/8, which is 12.5 plus 50, must be 62.5%. And similarly, 6/8, which we know is 3/4, has to be 75%. And therefore 7/8 would have to be 87.5%. As I said, it's not that difficult. There are some basic things that you have to know by heart for in the exam to save time. So 1/8 we know is 12.5%. Number 99. In number 99 we are told that f of x equals root of x minus 10. That in turn would imply, the question is this: we are told that u equals f of t, and we are asked to solve for t. Well, if f of x equals this function, then that implies that f of t must equal root of t minus 10. And we are told that f of t equals u. That means this quantity must equal u. Let's write it separately here. Root of t minus 10 equals u. And they just want us to solve for t. That's all it is. Bring 10 to this side. So root of t would equal u plus 10. Therefore t would have to equal u plus 10 whole squared. Quite straightforward. Simple. Number 100. Number 100 is the geometry problem. In number 100, we are given a circle, and inside the circle we have a rectangle. And we are told that this side is 12, this side is 5. The question simply is, what's the area of this circle? Well, before we worry about the area of the circle, we first have to figure out the radius, which is right here. From here to here, that represents the diameter. And again, as I said a second ago, there are some basic things that you must know. One of the basic things that you need to know are two very, very popular triangles. One is called 3, 4, 5 triangle, and the other one is called 5, 12, 13 triangle. 5 square is 25, 12 square is 144, 144 plus 25 is 169, that's 13 square. You have to know this thing. This is what we're dealing with here. We have a 5, we have a 12, which means this side has to be 13, which represents the diameter. If diameter is 13, that implies the radius of the circle must be 13.5. There you go. We're almost done. Therefore, area would have to be pi r squared, which is 13.5 squared. Let's open it, and we end up with pi times 169 over 4. Divide top and bottom by 4. 16 has 4 4. 9 has 2 4s. After we 2 4s are 8. After we take away 8 from the 9, we have a remainder of 1, and that 1 needs to be divided by 4 also. There we go. It's 14.25 pi. The area of this thing is simply 42 rather, 42.25 pi. Number 101. Number 101. And that is also a geometry problem. Here we are given a picture, a quadrilateral that looks something like this. We are told that this is right angle, We are told this is right angle. We are told that this side is 4, this side is 3, this side is 1, A, B, C, and D. And the question simply is this is 101. And the question simply is what's the length of A to B? This is what we want to find out. So this is the right angle, which means if we were to join these two, put a diagonal across it, this side is 3, this side is 4, which means the side facing the right angle, which is the hypotenuse, must be 5. There we go. This is 5, this is 1. Now we can figure out the x. So in this triangle, in triangle ABD, B to D is the hypotenuse. So 5 squared must equal 1 squared plus x squared. Therefore x squared must be 25 minus 1, which is 24. Therefore x must be 24, which can be written as 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 6. There we go. 4 of course is a perfect square, which is why we broke it down like this, which means x must be square root of 4, which is 2 root 6. X must be 2 root 6. That was 101. Number 102, the very bottom one on page 127. We have a lawn. 102. We are told that we have a lawn which is 30 by 40. And we are told that we're going to enclose 3/4 of the area. This person wants to enclose 3/4 of his lawn, which is 30 by 40. And we're going to do it one of two ways. We're going to either reduce length or width, but not both. The question is, how much fence, how much less fence are we going to end up using in one option versus the other? So we're going to look at both of the options, and whichever option has a lower parameter, that's the option we're going to go by, because we just want to enclose 3/4 of the area. We really don't care which way we go, whether we reduce the length or the width. We want to minimize the cost, because fence costs a certain amount of dollar per foot, obviously. Let's see what we have. So the rectangle as it stands is 30 by 40. 30 by 40. 30 by 40. In one option we're going to reduce the length, in another option we're going to reduce the width. So let's do that. So let's reduce the width first. The width is 30. If you reduce it by 3/4, 4 goes into 30. This is 2, this is 15, and 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So it's 7.5 times 3. Let's find out what that is. 7.5 times 3. Okay? 7 times 3 is 21. And 3 times half is 3/2, which is same as 1 and 1/2. So it's 22.5. So now this becomes 22.5 because we reduce the width here. It becomes 22.5. Now we can find out the perimeter. I used up all the room. Let's find out the perimeter here. Let's call this one 1. So the perimeter of the first one is going to be 22.5 this side, 22.5 this side, because we're cutting it this way. The width is being cut by 1/4. So it's 22.5 and 22.5. There's 2 times 22.5 plus 2 times 40. (22 times 2 would be 44, and we have a half, so it's 45. 45 plus 2 times 40, which is 80. It looks like it's 125 here. 125 feet. That's the perimeter of this guy. Let's do the other one here. So here we're going to take the length, and we're going to take 3/4 of it, which makes it very simple because quarter of 40 is 10. There we go. Which means we have 30. So by the time we cut the length, this becomes a square. This becomes a 30 by 30. This becomes a 30 by 30. It's no longer 40. So it's 30 by 30. Perimeter is very simple. It's just 4 times 30, which is 120. So if we go with this option, it's going to be 120 feet we're going to have to buy. If we go with this option, we're going to have to buy 125 feet. The question was how much are we going to save? How much less fence? The answer is 5 feet. We should go with this option. We'll have to buy 5 fewer feet of length, of fence rather. 103, which is also a geometry question. In 103, we are being asked to find the area of triangle ABC. Let's see what the picture looks like. Just give me one brief sec. We are given a blueprint of an apartment which looks something like this. And there's a wall here. Let's call this one L1 and L2, and we are told that this wall, which we are calling L1, is parallel to L2. We are also told that this is 30 feet, this is 30 feet, this is 15 feet. What we don't know is this part. And what we are interested in is this triangle ABC. Let's see what we can do. There are a couple of ways we can go about it. One way is very straightforward. If we take any kind of triangle, if this side is parallel, if we draw a line that is parallel to this line, like here for example, and if we are told that this side is 60, if this side is 60 and we break it into 30 and 30, well, if this is cut in half, that must also be cut in half. So if this is 15, this would have to be 15. It's just common sense. If you don't like this explanation, here's more complicated explanation. The more complicated explanation is this. If we have a big triangle, and if we draw a small triangle in there, of course, because this line is parallel to this line, this angle is equal to this angle has to equal to this angle, and this angle is shared. So all three angles are equal, which means they are similar triangle. If they are similar triangle, if this is 60, and if this is 15, that would have to be 15. If this is 60 and this side is 30, which is this is half the length of this whole thing, that will also have to be half. There we go. Enough of the talk, which means A to B is 30. A to B is 30. We are also told that this is 30 and this is 30. So essentially what we're dealing with here is an equilateral triangle ABC. We just have to find the area of the equilateral triangle ABC. Let's do it here. We're going to cut this into half because it's equilateral. This is 60 degrees, this is 60 degrees. If we drop a perpendicular, this must be 30 and this must be 30. We know this side is 30 and this side would have to be 15 if we cut it in half. We have to find out the height because we are interested in finding the area of this thing. Let's find out the height. This is 30, this is 60. We know in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, the sides are in a ratio of 1 to root 3. 2 is the highest number, biggest number that faces the right angle, which means this represents the 2. This is 30, which means it must be 15. Everything is 15. This is 15, that's R1. This is 1 to root 3, which means this side must be root 3 times 15. The ratio is, I'm going to put it in different colors so you can see it. The ratio is 1 to 2 to root 3. You understand? So that's it, we have the height, we can figure out the area. Area is simply going to be area of this triangle ABC. This triangle ABC is simply going to be 1/2 times base, which is 30, because this side is also 15. 30 times the height, which we just found out is 15 times root 3. 15 times root 3. 2 goes into 30, 15 times, there you go, 15 times 15 is 225. So it's 225 times root 3. The area of the bedroom is 225 times root 3. Number 104 is also a geometry problem. Let's do it here. (104). We have a scale drawing where we are told 1 inch equals 15 feet. We have a blueprint where the scale is 1 inch represents 15 feet. And it looks something like this. 1 inch by 1 1/3 inch. We're gonna floor. This is called drawing of a floor, and we're gonna tile it. And the tiles that we're gonna buy are, each tile, we are told, each tile is 6 inches by 6 inches. Question simply is, how many tiles do we need to buy? Let's find out, shall we? Before we worry about how many tiles we need to buy, we first have to find out the area of this tile, each of these tiles, into square feet, because this is measured in feet, this is measured in inches. That won't do. We have to convert this thing. 6 inch is half a foot. 6 inch is half a foot. There we go. So we have, it looks like one tile that we're going to put in is going to cover 1/4 of a square feet. And this thing is 1 inch is represents 15 feet, which means this side is 15 feet. And this is 1 1/3. 1/3 of 15 is 5, so it's just 15 times 5. So it looks like it's 20 by 15. We want to cover an area which is 20 by 15, and each tile is half times half. When we multiply it, this 2 times 2 is going to end up in the 4. It's going to be 20 times 15 times 4. 20 times 15 times 4. There you go. 15 times 4 is 60 times 20. 2 times 6 is 12. There you go. Oh, not square feet, rather, we're counting the tiles. Which means we're going to end up buying 1200 square feet. Which makes sense, because the area here, 15 times 2 is 30. Which makes sense, because the area of the floor is 300 square feet, and each tile covers only 1/4 of a square feet. So we have to buy 4 times as many tiles. 1200 tiles. Number 105. We are told that we have 200 total people. We are told that of those 200 people, 60 of them prefer to ski. 80 of them, we are told, prefer to skate. And we are also told that the number of people who prefer neither is 2 times the number of people who enjoy both. There we go. The symbol that we're going to use to represent both, we're going to use letter B. Symbol we're going to use to represent the number of people who enjoy neither, we're going to use N for it. It's a classic Venn diagram situation, so that's what we're going to do here on this side. Draw a nice Venn diagram, and that's what it is. Once we have a proper Venn diagram, the equation will emerge itself. The equation will emerge by itself. I'm going to change this marker because there's not much life left in it. So, let's do ski. We have 60 people in there. This is the ski. Let's do skate. We have 80 people in there. And then we have people who prefer both. People who prefer both is this people, which appears in 60. This B appears in 60, so after we put in B here, this becomes 60 minus B. And similarly, this 80 becomes 80 minus B. 80 minus B, that's how many people prefer skating only. 60 minus B prefer skiing only, and B number of people prefer both, and N number of people prefer neither. There we go. Now we have our equation, which we know has to equal 2 times B, because we are told that the number of people who prefer neither is 2 times the number of people who enjoy both. There we go. So now we can start. 60 minus B plus B plus 80 minus B plus N, which is simply 2 times B, has to equal 200. A very simple equation. We're looking for number of people. What is the question asking? Oh, number of people who prefer neither. So we're looking for n. So we first solve for b. Let's do it, shall we? So here we have a negative b, we have a negative b and positive 2b, positive 2b, negative b goes away. Oh, that's very simple. So it's just 60 plus 80, which is 140. Subtract 140 from both sides, this becomes 60. There you go, 60, and this is b. b is 60. So if b is 60, n must be 120. There are 120 people in this scenario who prefer neither. Number 106. In number 106, we are given several operations, and they look something like this. We are told that m operation p equals n. n operation r equals m. I have to make sure that I don't make a mistake in writing it, because obviously otherwise it will be a problem. n operation q is simply q. p operation q, we are told, is equal to p, and q operation p equals r. This is what we are told, and here's what we are being asked. We have to find out this quantity. M operation P operation Q operation P. As long as we follow our step, we'll be fine. M operation P, oh, that's right here. M operation P is right here, that's the number 1. That's just n. So this becomes n times, not n times, sorry, n operation Q. N operation Q is right here. N operation Q, I switch from capital Q to small q, that's going to cause confusion. N operation Q is just Q. So now we end up with Q operation P. Q operation P is right here. Q operation P is just R. There's not much in it. As long as you pay attention, you should be fine. Okay? When you come across an easy question, don't get cocky, don't get arrogant. Just take your time, because that's how we make mistake. Because sometimes when people come across a very easy problem, they become very cavalier, and then they end up messing it up. 107. We are told that X dollar for first 24 hours. We're going to rent some equipment, and we are told that the cost of rent is X dollars for the first 24 hours. And after that, then we're going to pay Y dollar each hour. This is very typical. For example, when you rent a truck from some company, they charge you a fixed amount for a day, and then after that is a certain amount per dollar. So question simply is, what are we going to end up paying for 36 hours? How much are we going to end up paying for 36 hours? Well, the first 24 hours are going to cost just X dollars. After we use it for 24 hours, we're going to keep it for 36 hours. So 36 minus 24, because we already paid for the 24 hours. So for the next 12 hours, we're going to pay Y dollars per hour. There you go. It's just X plus 12Y. That's the cost of the remaining 12 hours. 108. In 108, we are told that 1 cubic centimeter, something with the volume of 1 cubic centimeter weighs 7.3 grams. What we want to find out is the mass of 1 cubic meter. And they want the mass in kilogram, not gram. Let's find out how much is 1 cubic centimeter. How many cubic centimeter does it take to make 1 cubic meter first? So that's where our story begins. 1 cubic meter is simply 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter, which is probably why it's called 1 cubic meter. And 1 meter we know is 100 centimeter times 100 centimeter times 100 centimeter. So that means that 1 cubic meter must be 10 raised to 6 cubic centimeter. 1 cubic meter is made up of 1 million cubic centimeter. Now we can pick up the story from here. Well, we know one cubic centimeter equals weighs 7.3 gram. We are not interested in 1 cubic centimeter, we are interested in 1 million cubic centimeter. So let's multiply both sides by 1 million. There we go. And that 1 million times 1 cubic centimeter is 1 cubic meter. 1 cubic meter must weigh 7.3 times 1 million grams. But we're not interested in gram, we want kilogram. So we need to convert this gram into kilogram, and we know 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 gram. We're doing the conversion here, but I need the room because I left no room for myself. Or we can squeeze it here. I wanted to continue writing it here. I want to continue writing it here. So that we don't have to rewrite everything. So let's convert this gram into kilogram. So we want to get rid of this gram. So we're going to know. So we know 1,000 gram. 1,000 gram is 1 kilogram. There we go. Now we can get rid of this unit. 10 raised to 6 divided by 10 raised to 3 is just 10 raised to 3. So it's just going to be 7.3 times 10 raised to 3, which is 7,300. And now this is kilogram. 1 cubic meter must weigh 7,300 kilogram. Number 109. There's 2 109 here. We are told that z plus 1 minus 2z squared over z equals w over z. Z we are told is not equal to 0. Obviously it's not equal to 0 because otherwise we will end up having a problem. And we want to solve for w. As you can see, some problems are a little bit more complicated, some are very straightforward. This is a very simple problem. Let's find the common denominator here. So to find the common denominator, we'll end up with z squared plus 1 minus 2z squared over z has to equal w over z. Multiply both sides by z, z drops out, and we end up with z squared minus 2z squared, so it's 1 minus z squared is equal to w. There we go. W is equal to 1 minus z squared. That was the end of it. That was the end of that page. We're going to stop right here. We're going to pick up from where we left off tomorrow. In the meantime, if you wish to get hold of me, you can go to my website at keshwaniprep.com and send me an email from there, or fill out a form if you want me to know a little bit about yourself. Send me an email, as I said, or fill out the form, and we'll talk more. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow then. I can help you with the preparation if you would like to hire me as your tutor. Bye now.